Welcome to this video on sustaining ecosystems, a case study of sustainable management of the Arctic. Now this has a focus on whaling. It sits here, a case study to examine one small-scale example of sustainable management in the Arctic, and focuses in on conservation and whaling. So let's have a look at where the Arctic is. It's the most northernmost region of Earth. Most scientists define the Arctic as the area within the Arctic Circle, a line of latitude about 66.5 degrees north of the equator. Within this circle are the Arctic Ocean basin and the northern parts of Scandinavia, Russia, Canada, Greenland, and the US state of Alaska. And you can see it there on the map. So some of the characteristics of the Arctic: it is not a land continent. It's an ocean surrounded by continents with large islands like Greenland and Ellesmere Island. The ice reaches height of 2 to 3 meters, and it's sea pack ice. The climate is cold due to a lack of direct sunlight, but not as cold as Antarctica. Average summer's temperatures are 0 degrees and minus 40 degrees in winter. The flora of the vegetation are low shrubs, sedges and grasses, mosses and liverworts. And the animals that are found there, the fauna, are polar bears, Arctic fox, reindeer and wolves, reminding you that polar bears are found in the north and penguins are found in the south. So seals, whales and bird species are also found in the Arctic. So there are some human activities that happen here. People live here. There's a human population of greater than 4 million people. There are many indigenous people that live in the Arctic, and lots of mining activities that happen there. The future is uncertain. There are lots of threats from climate change and also the extraction of oil and gas and other resources. And this idea of claims of sovereignty of who owns the Arctic too. Now, let's have a look at the case study of whaling. Whales have been hunted for centuries. Inuits hunt whales for oil, meat and bones. However, countries and companies started to hunt whales, and this became very unsustainable. In the 1930s, over 50,000 whales were being killed each year. Huge factory ships were catching 10 to 20 whales each time to make products like margarine, chemicals and makeup. In 1946, the International Whaling Commission was set up to protect whales. It sets a total number of whales that each country can catch. In 1986, the International Whaling Commission banned commercial whaling to make products. However, Japan continued to catch whales for what they called scientific research. Since 1986, 30,000 whales have been caught, mostly by Japan. So we are going to look at a case study here. And the place that we're going to focus on in this marine wildlife sanctuary is this safe place for sea animals, which was set off the coast of Baffin Island in northern Canada, covers 12 miles and protects 17 different species of whales. And you can see it here, Baffin Island here, just south of Greenland, north of Canada here. And you can see the area that we're going to focus in on is near the Clyde River. That's the area there for bowhead whales. So up to 2,000 bowhead whales stop in the area each year on their migration. Polar bears, though, seals and fish also benefit from this sanctuary because it's illegal for whaling ships to come into this area. Inuit people live off Baffin Island and Greenpeace support them hunting whales. Greenpeace want to work with the Inuits, indigenous people that live there, and make a joint stand against oil drilling in the Arctic Ocean. Inuit people only live off what they need, and they use every part of the whale in their way of life. So this is a very sustainable way of living. This is a 6-mark question, an example, and you can see there very clearly it says a small scale example. So you would not use a global example of the Antarctic Treaty here. You would name it and say the Marine Whaling Sanctuary, or you could call it Baffin Island. It's entirely up to you, but just be very specific. And the question is, assess the impact of one small-scale example of sustainable management in either the Arctic or the Antarctic ecosystem. Pause the video here and have a go. Here's the mark scheme. Hopefully you got to level 3. An answer demonstrates thorough knowledge of the chosen sustainable management with a reasonable understanding of the impacts and their thorough analysis of the impacts and well-developed ideas. Here's the start of what it might look like. In the marine wildlife area off the east coast of Baffin Island, Canada, large-scale whaling is banned to protect the species that feed there. This has meant the number of bowhead whales has increased to 2,000 and also protected other species that live there. This includes 16 other species of whale and polar bears and seals. However, the whales do not spend the whole year in the protected area, so may be vulnerable when they are outside of this area. Also, the sanctuary can't protect the whales against any changes to their habitat caused by climate change and increases in seawater temperature. Good luck in your exams.